welcome to your weather forecast. My name is Dooley Godot, back with you guys one more time. Sorry I wasn't here yesterday and there wasn't a video. I was feeling quite a bit under the weather yesterday, no pun intended there, but I didn't feel well, but I'm back here with you guys again today. Our city of the day is going to be Charleston, West Virginia, the lovely city out there. You see those partly cloudy skies, and your forecast today, you're currently seeing a temperature of 60 to 68 degrees, but you're going to expect a high of 85 today, so you're going to see that high temperature rise quickly into the mid 80s today, where you can have some scattered showers and thunderstorms move through your area later this afternoon, and some severe weather is also possible out there along the Appalachian Mountain Range, but we're going to take a look at that as we move through our weather forecast. Right now, we're going to have you guys leave your likes, comments, and please subscribe to the channel. And now it's time to move on to our national radar. I'm going to show you all the areas that's dealing with interesting weather right now. So let's move on to our radar. Okay, here we are with the national radar. My radar is acting right today, so I get to use it today. But, well, I guess I never did do a video yesterday. I almost did, and the radar wasn't acting right, but I'm glad it's up and running today like it should. Now, let's take a look at all the crazy things going on out there, because there is quite a bit to talk about on this map here. We're going to start with the Northeast right now. New York City right there, but just right offshore of Boston, we got some showers and storms that's going to be moving a bit offshore today. So right now, you guys are going to have to fight your way through those showers and storms on the East Coast there. That's also down here south of Montreal, Canada. Those showers and storms are going to be headed your way. And if you're here in Vermont and New Hampshire and Maine, you're going to be seeing those showers move your way as well. We got some showers down here near Jacksonville and the Gulf Coast of Florida there. The Florida Panhandle's got some showers and thunderstorms just offshore. Now I'm going to turn around here and show you this big blob of mess going on through Missouri and Kansas and Oklahoma. We got some very strong showers and thunderstorms taking place right here. Large hail and damaging winds is also being reported in this severe thunderstorm down here across the Ozarks. So the Ozarks are seeing some thunderstorms this afternoon, and we also have a lot of thunderstorms taking place through Iowa, just across here into Minnesota, South Dakota, North Dakota. This is going to be one of our severe weather areas this afternoon. We're talking here across Iowa, southeastern Minnesota, Wisconsin as well. Going to be seeing those severe thunderstorms firing off this afternoon, because there'll be some tornadoes out there today. Some large hail is certainly possible, and some damaging winds when those storms become more linear in the overnight hours tonight. We're also going to be seeing that severe weather across this region this afternoon too. So we got parts of West Virginia, where our city of the day is. Charleston is going to be dealing with that severe weather. Virginia, North Carolina, all the way across back here to southern Illinois to just about Missouri there, going to be dealing with an area for severe weather. And we got our dry weather conditions here across the Southwest, where we're going to be dealing with that fire, that Hermit and Calf fire there in New Mexico. That's burning about 300,000 acres right now. But our other area of the day for weather is here across the northern Rockies, where we're dealing with a winter storm. Yes, winter storm conditions do exist here across the northern Rockies. We got Colorado and Wyoming, parts of Montana, as well as Idaho is going to be dealing with as much as a foot of snow above the 4,000 foot level. So if you're in the higher elevations, a lot of snow continuing. We got heavy winds out there, so there's also high wind warnings. Almost near blizzard conditions for some locations out there. So we'll be taking a look more further at that wintry weather there across the northern Rockies. And we're going to talk about how this is going to move out into the high plains. So we're going to see some winter in some parts of the central plains as we move over the next couple of days. And that is also going to set the stage for a severe weather outbreak. So let's move on with our forecast and talk about the current watches and hazards right now. Okay, here's our watches and hazards. Our big hazard of the day right now is going to be this large area of weather for the red flag. This is our red flag warning in place here from parts of Nebraska. We got Kansas, Wyoming, Colorado, Texas, New Mexico, Arizona, as well as Nevada, going to be dealing with that red flag. So this means that we have conditions that is going to be conducive for wildfire. So we got very dry conditions. We have high winds in place, a lot of heat in some locations. So we got all the ingredients for wildfire to break out. Now we are dealing with the Hermit and cat fire that's right about here that has burned over 309,000 acres at this time, and it's only about 30% contained. So they have a long way to go in fighting that fire. We're gonna also introduce dry lightning to this area again, as we can see some elevated thunderstorms where all the moisture is going to dry up before it hits the ground. So there will be dry lightning that could easily spark new fires and also enhance this fire and make fighting that fire much more dangerous. So we're going to be dealing with that. We got some heat here across Texas, as some places like Abilene, Odessa, and Odessa, Texas, and Midland could hit as much as 110 degrees, and that heat is ever getting closer to the Dallas Fort Worth metro. So we're going to be seeing those temperatures approach 100 degrees in Dallas Fort Worth. So a lot of heat down here across the Southwest. Phoenix and Tucson also pushing up towards 110 degrees. We're going to be looking at that forecast later on. So a lot of heat to deal with across that part of the nation. Now here, a very different story across the northern Rockies. You see these blues. These are winter weather advisories, and we pinks in there. That's winter storm warning. So we got a huge snowstorm that's taking place here across the northern Rockies through Montana and Idaho and Wyoming and parts of Colorado. We're going to be seeing that wintry weather take place, where we can see a foot of snow in elevations above 4,000 feet there. So we got some fog here across the upper Midwest there in Indiana and Illinois. A lot of heavy fog because of those high dew points, and temperatures are running about neck and neck with those dew points, so you're going to be seeing a lot of fog. But that is going to be under that influence because of that severe weather that's headed that way this afternoon. So that is a look at the watches and hazards. Very busy day, especially across the western half of the nation, because we do have some high wind warnings in parts of Nevada as well. So a lot of places are dealing with high wind. The southern end, you're dealing with high wind and heat and dryness. The northern end, you're dealing with wintry weather and heavy snow and rain, and some thunderstorms as well mixed in with all that. So let's take a look now at why we have an empty screen here. And here's our next thing. All right, so we're going to talk about the speed and how these wildfires spread. Especially we got that Hermit fire and that cat fire in New Mexico. And one thing is that's easy that you need to do is people who spot these fires, and the wind and the thermals, the temperatures can carry sparks and firebrands downwind of the fire, greatly increasing the spread rate. So that wind and how dry it is can determine how fast a fire spreads. And also the fuel type. So are we dealing with a lot of vegetation? Is there a lot of brush? You have there's a lot of areas in the desert Southwest where you have brush that only comes up yay high, or if you get up to 6,000-7,000 feet, where you have deciduous firs, like you have the sequoias and the redwoods, and you got a lot of Douglas firs out there in the like through the Rockies and the desert Southwest. So when I used to live in Arizona, you go up Mount Lemmon and you can see, it would be rock desert, and all of a sudden a tree line would form, and then you got big fir trees, these big evergreens growing up above toward the top of the mountains, but above 7,000-8,000 feet. You see those trees out there, those tall firs, and so that could determine how your fire burns and spreads as well. So your vegetation type is going to be important. So the type of vegetation, the physical properties, and the chemical properties play a role in fire behavior and how fast these fires spread. Now, weather conditions is the other rule of thumb here. So your wind speed has a huge effect, and the fire itself creates wind and changes in the air pressure, so which can enhance the wind speeds as well. So it can enhance the fire intensity and how fires can travel. Wind pushes the flame forward and closer to the unburned fuel in front of the fire. Temperature, humidity, and precipitation are also important due to their strong influence on fuel moisture content. So if you don't get a lot of rain, your branches and your brush and vegetation is going to be dry and brittle. So the lack of rainfall can enhance the fire. Whereas if you have more moisture content in your trees or in your bush or whatever your vegetation is, then it's going to be harder for it to burn. And if it's cooler as well. So heat and dryness and a lot of wind really contribute to those fires. And your topography is important too. As you can see in this picture, this fire is burning uphill. So fires tend to burn up first. So then they get to the top of the mountain and then go over the other side. But the forces that pushes the fire up is different than what pushes the fire down. So now you have all the heat because that heat rises up. So it tends to not go over the ridge with the fire. Then your fuel, what takes over is the amount of vegetation that you have on the other side of the top of the summit of the mountain, where if that fire is burning over the top, so you're no longer being pushed up, but now that fire is relying on the vegetation on the other side. But the other side, the fire burns slower because now the fire is creating heat and it's coming from this way. So it kind of pushes back on your fire. So your fire kind of comes down slower over the other side because now it's just relying on the vegetation that hasn't burned yet for fuel and motivation for the fire to keep going. But that heat rises, so it kind of blows back on itself. So that's kind of how the dynamics of those fires work in the mountains. Now it's a different situation if you say have a grass fire over the plains. So here's a look at how some of these fires work. All right, so we got Rothermos model for how fire heat and is transferred and fire spreads. So as you take a look at this, here is a no-wind fire. Now these fires rely on their vegetation. So if you'll see them kind of burn out into a circle, you'll see it kind of spread out in all directions because the wind isn't driving the fire, but the fire is just basically using the fuel around it to burn. So it's burning the vegetation. So it's going to go according to how dense and how much vegetation and if the condition that that vegetation is in and what the atmospheric conditions are, is it dry, heat. So that's going to be how these non-wind driving, these fires tend to be easier to fight because you're not fighting against the wind as well. So, and then you have wind-driven fires. Now, wind-driven fires tend to blow embers out, so you can start new fires in areas nearby because of the embers that's being blown off by the fire. So that fire reaches out to unburned vegetation so it can spread the fire. These fires tend to spread really fast because they're burning the unburned vegetation because the wind is causing the flames to reach out. So it's kind of blowing overhead over top of unburned vegetation, catching the unburned stuff on fire too, so it's able to progress a lot faster. And here is an upslope fire. This is the fire going up a mountain ridge. See, when the fire goes up the mountain ridge, what it's doing is creating a lot of heat. And that heat is rising up above the fire and pushing the fire along. Your fire's kind of being lifted up the mountain ridge, so to speak. In a way, it's being lifted up and carried up the mountain ridge. So it's getting that thicker vegetation as you go higher up the mountain. So these fires, in my opinion, are the most dangerous fires because they tend to get the taller trees and the fir trees and stuff. And these are the more difficult fires to fight because of the terrain. A lot of times it's difficult for the firefighters to get in there on the boots on the ground, and you have to rely more of attacking these from the air with the helicopter or the airplanes dropping water on these guys because you can't get out ahead of the fire in the mountain ridges and passes because it's just too difficult to get down in there. So here is your fire safety tips. I'm going to step off screen, and what I want you guys to do is to pause the video, okay? Pause the video, and if you are using your phone, screenshot this page, right? And if you are using your computer, you can also screenshot this page and you can use it to review your area and determine what you need to do to be ready for fires. Now, this also applies for if you have a fire in your home as well, not just wildfire. So, if you have an area where your home fire could spark a wildfire, and I've seen this happen a lot in California, where a single home catches fire for whatever reason, and then that fire can spread to other homes, and then the dry conditions kind of just take over and just enhance and exacerbate the situation, and a huge wildfire breaks out just from a single structure fire or even a vehicle fire. I've seen vehicle fires cause massive wildfires. So just take that and copy that information down. I'm not going to read through all of that because it's a whole lot, but you can do that. So that is a look at what we can do to prepare for fire safety, because this is important to me as an environmental scientist as well. So I talk a lot about fire safety and environmental issues and things like that. So please take that to heed and pay close attention to what you are doing. If you're doing outdoor barbecues, barn fires, you can be anywhere and cause wildfire to break out, especially this time of the year. Here's our forecast analysis. We're going to talk about what's going on out there, and we don't have our weather, severe weather here across the northern plains through Iowa and Minnesota and Wisconsin today. This is where we're going to be seeing those severe thunderstorms break out this afternoon, as we're going to have a warm front that's lifting north here across the northern plains. So we're going to see that front lift north, and with that warm front, we're going to see that severe weather break out there. And we're going to have also our area of severe weather along the Appalachians and into the Texas, the Tennessee Valley down here and across parts of North Carolina as well. We're going to be seeing that severe weather break out along this warm front that's kind of broken up through here. So we do have this trough slash warm front that's moving through parts of the Ohio Valley. So that's going to help to spark these severe storms right here. And here's where we're dealing with our northern Rocky storm system here. So we have our winter storm here with all that snow and wintry weather for those folks up there in the northern Rockies and the Pacific Northwest. So we do have this here, and this front's going to drop down, as you can see in this one. See, it drops down, but it's going to start to pull that wintry weather down into parts of Colorado as well. So they're going to get a little bit of relief from the red flag situation down here, but New Mexico, unfortunately, is not going to get any relief. And in fact, as this front drops closer to this area, it's going to enhance that red flag, because this front is going to be dry and it's going to increase the winds through this area tremendously. We're talking winds as high as 40 to 50 miles per hour. Here we are, this frontal boundary. It will extend all the way into the Great Lakes area, and it's this area that we're going to see our severe weather for your Friday. So severe thunderstorms for parts of Michigan and the Indiana and Illinois, as well as southeastern Wisconsin, could see that severe weather for your Friday. And then we'll see some strong thunderstorms down here in South Florida as well, once again, as we get that moisture off of the Atlantic Ocean being pumped in by the Bermuda High out there. So it's that onshore flow is gonna bring those showers and spark some thunderstorms over the Everglades, over the inland interior portions of Florida tomorrow afternoon. So that is a look at today and tomorrow. Here we are for your Saturday. All right, so our winter storm warning kind of moves a little bit further to the south throughout parts of Colorado. Some of that snow is going to start to affect Nebraska and northwestern Kansas there. As you can see here, might see some wintry weather through this central plains for your Saturday. And we have that front again dropping down into New Mexico. This frontal boundary again is going to increase the winds, but it can lower the temperatures a little bit. But once again, it's going to continue to be dry, a little bit lower temperatures, but high winds is going to be your big problem. So you're going to keep dealing with that red flag out there, and we're going to see that wet weather, severe storms in and throughout parts of the upper Midwest here. We got Illinois and Indiana, Iowa and Missouri once again under the gun for some severe weather for Saturday. And we'll see some strong thunderstorms down here along the Gulf Coast and through the state of Florida. Some more severe weather as you have a trough of low pressure down here that's hanging out across parts of Florida and the southeast. And this is going to be enough to trigger some strong, possibly even severe thunderstorms down there along the Gulf Coast. So that is a look at the forecast analysis. Here's your severe weather outlook for today. Here's what we have our enhanced risk for severe thunderstorms through the upper Midwest. We got Minnesota, southwestern Wisconsin, northern Iowa is going to be seeing that enhanced risk for severe thunderstorms. Here's our slight risk in the yellow. We also have a slight risk down through here. Like I said, Virginia here, as well, West Virginia, going to be seeing that possibility of some severe weather down here in southern West Virginia. But we'll be seeing that all the way from North Carolina, South Carolina, up through the Kentucky, Virginia, and Tennessee as well. Going to be seeing that severe weather. Southern Indiana, southern Illinois, and parts of Missouri as well. It's going to be dealing with that severe weather. I'm dealing with the itchy eyes again. Okay. All right. All right, let's keep moving here. That fan, I think, is blowing dust in my eyes. So that's our two severe weather areas this afternoon that we're going to be seeing. Here's what we're looking at for tomorrow. We got this little area of severe weather down here across parts of Oklahoma and Texas. Now, we have this marginal risk for severe weather pretty much through central and southwestern Texas here, all the way into the upper Midwest and the Great Lakes. Going to be dealing with scattered severe weather through this region here. So some isolated severe thunderstorms for the most part, a little bit more scattered severe storms, a little bit more intense storms, maybe a tornado or two possible right in these yellow sections for your Friday out there, okay? And here we are as we take a look at what the GFS has predicted. Here's where those severe storms are going to break out this afternoon. We got a line here through Iowa as well as through Minnesota and Wisconsin here. This is what this is what the GFS thinks where they're going to pop up at. So that's where our severe weather will be this afternoon. Here is tomorrow's severe weather, as that's going to be this line here. That's going to be going into Michigan all the way down through the Indiana and Illinois, Missouri as well, all the way down into Oklahoma and Texas there. We can see that severe weather. And then some more severe thunderstorms possible down here across the southeast and along the Gulf Coast there. I think some of these might be severe. Even though the National Weather Service doesn't have this area for severe weather, I think that this is going to be a prime area for some severe storms, some post storms to break out because of that trough of low pressure down there. All right, so that was a look at the severe weather. Here's your tropical outlook. This is going to be really quick because there's nothing really going on out there. No tropical systems expected to develop over the next 5 days in the Pacific and Atlantic. Same thing for the Pacific. No tropical development expected at this time in the next 5 days. All right, so here's your regional forecast. We're going to be talking about your northeast. The northeast, a few showers out here across parts of Maine and New England. Here is our severe weather today across Minnesota and Wisconsin. We'll see that in northern Iowa as well. Here's our severe thunderstorms. So we're going to see thunderstorms scattered pretty much across all of Minnesota, northwestern and northern half of Wisconsin. You'll see it. And then some more scattered showers and some severe storms down here across the Appalachians and into the Piedmont area of the Carolinas. Here's tomorrow's forecast. We're going to see those thunderstorms and some severe storms through the upper Midwest and the Great Lakes area. So we got Michigan down through Indiana, Illinois, Missouri, Kansas, and Arkansas and Oklahoma as well. Could see those severe thunderstorms. Now this is going to be isolated to scattered severe for your Friday out there. And we'll see a few showers here in New England and the Northeast there, but nothing too severe or heavy for you folks tomorrow. Overall, a pretty nice day. Going to be a dry day for a lot of locations out there for for your Friday, and let's deal with the watery eyes. Let's move our fan. Okay, so it's not blowing right up at my face, but it is hot in here. All these lights. So, all right, looking at the southwest here, those storms, the southwest, the southeast. All right, those storms here across the Piedmont area. We got North and South Carolina, Tennessee. Going to be seeing some of those thunderstorms as well. Some of those guys can be severe. Few showers and storms down here in Florida, along the East Coast, and over the Everglades. Here are some showers and storms going to build up in the heat of the afternoon there. So this is where any severe weather in Florida could take place. Here is along the Everglades over the central parts of the Florida Peninsula. And otherwise, we'll see lovely and hot conditions here across the southeast from Atlanta through we got Georgia, Alabama, Mississippi, Louisiana, and Arkansas. Going to see dry conditions today, but we're going to see those temperatures in the upper 80s to lower 90s for your afternoon today. Here's what you're going to be seeing tomorrow out there. A lot of dry conditions here across the southeast. Few showers, maybe a severe storm down here in Florida, as well as those storms build up over the Everglades. And we're going to see showers along the coastal sections coming in off of the sea breeze. And here's our area where some of that severe weather is going to be here across the Ozarks tomorrow afternoon. All right, here's the southwest. A lot of red flag out here, so we got a lot of dry weather conditions. This K is because of smoke, so we got a lot of smoke down here through New Mexico because of that Hermit and Calf Canyon fire down there that's burned over 300,000 acres. I'm going to say that again. This is a significant fire, the largest fire in the history of New Mexico. So we got the smoke problems down there, red flag as well, and we got some lot of blowing dust and blowing winds out here, a lot of gusty winds through southern Utah and Nevada as well. And the Santa Anas are always forever present in Southern California. So we got those northeasterly winds blowing below the canyons and passes. So that's going to be heating things up. Low clouds and fog along the immediate coast. We usually see that burn off in the afternoons, about 10 a.m. or so. You'll see that hazy afternoon sunshine. Those temperatures near 7 degrees down there about around Santa Monica and Long Beach. You're going to see those temperatures along the immediate coastline quite comfortable, but once you burn off that low clouds and fogs in the morning. Here we go for tomorrow. Again, gusty winds here across the desert southwest. Red flag in place. More of that smoke from the fire across parts of New Mexico tomorrow, so you'll be dealing with that. But here across the Rockies, here's where our snowstorm is going to be. So fires and heat to cold and snow. How funny is this? Look at how close this is together, and you're dealing with winter storm and wildfires down here. So that is the look at the southwest for your Thursday and Friday. Here's the Pacific Northwest. All right, the biggest thing here again is that wintry weather here across Montana. We got Idaho and Wyoming going to be dealing with snow and wind. We got wind warnings here. We got winter storm. We have winter weather. There's some thunderstorms also going to be possible, so some lightning is going to be possible in all of this mess too. So some places above 4,000 feet could see as much as a foot of snow. So if you're skiing out here, you'll be happy about that. You'll be seeing ski if you're in Biscayne or you're down here in Cody, Wyoming, or Jackson Hole at some of the ski resorts. You're going to love that. That'll be beneficial. But if you're, say, a trucker and you're trying to get your loads to the West Coast, that's going to cause problems for you guys on I-80 and I-90 out there and 94. So please be careful and with those weather conditions out there. Here's for your tomorrow. Our snowstorms drop a little bit further to the southeast now. It's going to move into Wyoming and more of Colorado, parts of Utah, the Wasatch Mountain Range down there near Salt Lake City. It's going to start to pick up some of that snow. You guys can pick up a few inches up above 6,000 feet down in those locations. But for the most part, we're going to see nice dry conditions here across the Pacific Northwest, Seattle and Portland. Going to see some nice weather for you guys out there. You're not going to have to worry about any of this unless you're going to go on a driving trip and it's going to take you east and you're going to have to go across the mountains. Then you're going to run into that. So that is a look at the national weather forecast for the next couple of days. My name is Julie Godot. Thanks for watching this video. Leave your likes, your comments, and please subscribe to the channel. And I'll see you guys tomorrow in the next video.